All right, problem number 5. This is asking us to prepare a direct materials budget or raw materials budget. It seems like your book and this practice exam use those terms interchangeably. So we have our policy here. That's a little bit confusing. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. So anyway, we want to prepare the budget for the second quarter, April, May, and June. Each unit of finished product uses 3/4 of a yard, and our ending inventory from the prior quarter was 1,600 yards. So the raw material budget, we start with our required production. That's the number that's in units. How many units are we going to produce? Then we figure out how much raw materials per unit is required, and then we multiply those two to come up with our raw materials needed for production. So this raw material units comes from the problem right here, our production requirements. So remember you do 4 and 5 kind of independently. So this is the information we'll use for 5, and we'll need a little bit of that, but right now we'll use this. It is not what we calculated in 4. So I've copied those numbers down. You can see that and compare that to yours. Of course, the total for the quarter is the total. I multiply that by 3/4 of a yard. Whoops. I multiply that by 3/4 of a yard, and we get our total materials needed for production. Then we need to add in our desired ending inventory, and here's where I think this problem is a little bit off. It tells us that we have a policy that have direct materials on hand equal to 10% of our next month's sales. Oftentimes what we would have a policy that's like 10% of our next month's production needs or our production units. So sales is a little bit weird there, I think. So where did I come up with the 600? Well, our sales in May, let's scroll up again, our sales in May are 8,000 units. Sorry, they keep having to do that. So 8,000 units is what we're going to sell. We need 10% of that, which is 800. Now, again, though, that's 800 sales units. So our desired ending inventory for materials should be how much materials does that 800 use? And remember, each one uses 0.75, so that's where I come up with a 600. So, I mean, that's how you would do it based on this information given. I'm not sure the wording of that is actually correct, but that's where I got the 600, 900, 1150, and then of course the ending inventory for the quarter, right, comes from the desired ending inventory for June. So then we add these two together to get our total raw materials needs. Then we subtract our beginning inventory. Alright, so remember the 1,600 is given to you. It's given to us right there, 1,600 yards. And then of course, you know, May's beginning inventory is April's ending. June's beginning inventory is May's ending. And the quarter's beginning inventory is, you know, April's beginning. What did I say? The quarter's beginning inventory is April's beginning. Alright, so that's a little messy. Let me erase that. So then, right, we take our needs, we subtract our beginning inventory, and that gives us our raw materials needed to be purchased. Again, in yards, right, we've converted this to material, the yards of material we need. In this case, the cost is given to us at $12, so we multiply that out and we come up with the cost of raw materials purchased in each of those months and the quarter, as shown there. Okay, and then the final part says, how much would the company pay for raw materials in June? Well, then we go to June, and the amount they would pay is shown there.